right. So we're getting closer to everything we need to have happening here, which is good. So yeah, just recording the video like you did. Perfect. So, very important things here to remember moving forward. Perfect practice makes perfect. Practice does not make perfect. And this actually goes back to, the first video I sent you, including one of the questions that you asked me when it comes to when are you supposed to increase the speed of the metronome. And it's always, you have to get it 100% correct before you go on. If there is any mistake of any kind, we do not go on. We also need to stop and address the mistake immediately. So this way we get as much time as possible playing these things correctly, because you need to think of everything like you are recording. Like you are, well, yeah, making a video, making an album, things like that. And yes, today we can always just punch in and edit things and take care of mistakes that get recorded. Well, let's pretend like we're recording old school and it's analog and we don't have the means to easily punch in or edits and things like that. You need to make a good take. And instead of making a mistake in the middle of the take and continuing on, it's like, nope, we just got to do it again. Got to do it again, do it again. So I bring that up because there was a few times that there was a definite mistake that happened. It looked like, I got the impression that you knew a mistake happened, but you continued on anyway. I could be wrong. Now, there's one thing when you know a mistake is made and you continue on. That's a terrible thing to do. Don't do that. It's not going to help anything. It's not going to help anybody. It's not going to help you improve your rhythmic skills, okay? The only time it's all right to make a mistake and continue on is like a band practice situation where you are going to be on stage and you need to know the songs well enough that when a mistake happens, you can keep going. However, we are focused on getting the best technique, the best rhythm that we possibly can. So with this type of practice, we do not continue on when a mistake is made. So again, if you didn't know, then, you didn't know. And we can't hold you accountable for that. Some of the things that I heard was like you strummed 4 quarter notes in a row when it was supposed to be 2 quarter notes and a half note, so you would add in a strum every now and then. And at one point, I think it's the repeat section, like you waited too long to strum a chord a second time. So it was something like you had to hit, like 1, 2, 3, 4, and on the repeat you did something like 1, 2, 3, whoops, and then like you tried to quickly get the chord in there, and then you continued on. So that was an instance where I got the impression you knew a mistake happened, but you continued on anyway. So we can't do that. We got to stop that stuff, all right? So speaking of chords, obviously we got something different going on here. So you mentioned that, if I remember correctly, you mentioned that you're used to like the old cowboy chords a lot more than the power chords. So if you want to get better at the power chords, please tell me. If that's the case, we need to work on something else to get you better at those chords, because a good deal of the time the chords were not held well enough and some very sour notes were coming out. A good example was, instead of holding the F5 here, your index finger was too far this way and you'd get that kind of sound. A lot of times extra strings would get hit, things like that. So if you want to improve power chord playing, please tell me. If it's just rhythm you want to focus on, that we can just play these open chords instead, So here's the other question. If you would rather just stick with these kinds of chords in your next video, please demonstrate as many chords you can think of that you do know, so I have an idea of what you and I can use for these sorts of things, okay? So, here's the next thing that's going to be a big one. If on your next video you send things over where mistakes are made and you continue on and increase the metronome speed, I'm going to let you know a mistake was made here. I can't accept the video. You need to do it again. Alright? So, it's time to start getting a bit more strict with things, because now we have a bit of foundation established. So, yes, we are going for perfection as much as possible. Mistakes happen. That's okay. It's what you do with the mistakes that count. So when the mistake happens, stop where you're at, start over. One last thing. So like it says at the top of that PDF, it says it up on the screen right now, after you reach your max speed or reached 15 to 20 minutes, then you drop your metronome down and add in the repeat. So I didn't get the feeling that you struggled to get that last speed prior to the repeat in your video. So we got two things going on. So yes, that means I expect your next video to be over 15 minutes long. Unless you are really struggling to get a good take. It has to be a struggle. It needs to be like 1 or 2 minutes of really trying to get a good take to reach that max speed. If you just get it in one shot, that's not a max speed. It has to be a challenge. It has to be a struggle, or else it is not a max speed. Okay? So, we have new symbols here. In fact, I should have written this on, but hey, let's do it right now. This is a dotted half note. The dotted half note gets, it lasts 3 quarter notes long. And in this case, it would also be 3 beats long. Alright? So, dotted half note lasts the length of 3 quarter notes. So in this case, 3 beats long. So when you dot something, you extend the length of it by half. So in this case, a half note lasts 2 beats. So we dotted it, it extends the length of it by 1/2. Half of 2 is 1, so that's why it's 3 beats long. Okay. So, continue counting all 4 beats. That was good to see you did. So here we go, 60 beats per minute. Number 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Done. 120. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Done. 180. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, So, just like before, with the repeat, you play the entire highlighted section twice and then finish with that A minor chord. So, we are striving for perfection this week. If you have any questions, please let me know. But also remember, review the video. Please take notes because a lot of the questions that you ask, we are covering that in the video. So please take notes as you go through this. Double check things. Follow along with the video as much as you can, especially at the 60 beats per minute. And remember, tap your foot with your metronome. That's a huge thing. You want to have good rhythm? Tap your foot with the click. Tap your foot with the click. Super, super important. So, remember, I asked you 2 questions earlier in this video, so whenever you can, answer that, and I will talk to you soon.